thrilled to bring on this Hall of Fame guest because he had Matt Hamilton rocking a Vikings jersey, an all-time Kansas City Chief, an all-time Minnesota Viking, an all-time Chicago Bear, and a NFL Hall of Famer. Jared Allen joining the show. And Jared, congratulations. I'll start with the obvious question: rolling into Idaho State, did you see Hall of Fame on your future resume there?
Yeah, no, so I again, I never played. That was never my goal, right? To be a Hall of Famer. My goal was just to be a great football player. And so, that's just the result of all the hard work, dedication, passion, fun, love, whatever you want to call it. Everything I did in the sport of football, just chasing my dream that I had as an 8-year-old kid to play pro ball, and always playing with that chip on my shoulder, never wanting to be the guy on film for why your team sucks or did something wrong, right? You're just constantly chasing greatness and always wanted to prove to everybody that I belonged, and you do that enough year after year after year after year after year, it stacks up, and this is the result, the byproduct of it. So did I see myself being a Hall of Famer when I was at Idaho State? No, but did I see myself being a great football player? Yes, because that's all I ever wanted to be.
So we have Matt. I said that I love
this right here is almost worth the gold jacket that Matt Hamilton.
Well, because Matt told me, and I
made me give him we lost a bet, and he made me give him a Carolina jersey over.
Yes. And I said, did you never watch Jared Allen play? Of course he's going to troll you and give you a Vikings jersey.
Yeah, I should have known better, but beggars can't be choosers when it comes to Hall of Famers, you know what I mean? So, Jared, I've had the fortune of knowing you through curling now for a couple years, and some of the turmoil with becoming a Hall of Famer. This isn't your first crack at it. Can you talk about the process of being a Hall of Famer and kind of what that you get nominated and you have to go through the motions of it. What's that like, and how is it finally getting over the hump and making it?
Yeah, so I was my first year of eligibility to be in the Hall. I was a finalist back with Peyton Manning. You have to wait 5 years after you retire, and then you're eligible. So I was a first ballot finalist with no expectation really getting in that year. And then the second, third, and fourth year was finalists as well. And the frustration of the process starts because you don't know the whole totality of the process, why you're going through it. And I think that's kind of the frustrating part of. You start trying to look at, stats and position, but you don't know what the voters are thinking or who's where and what. And, are they weighing seniority over, guys been on the list longer? Is it average? Is it years in the league? Is it total numbers? There's a whole mess of things that, you think And so, you get competitive and you want to be in, obviously, right? And so the process can be frustrating at times. It really was. I know, thinking, I thought for sure my third year of eligibility I was going in and to get passed over then, stung. And then last year as well was oh my goodness. And how long are they going to make me wait? What more do I have to do? And I think that's the problem that guys have. I always joke 11 weeks or 11 months and 1 week out of the year. I never thought about the Hall. And then for 3 weeks when you're going through the finals process, you get all of this competitive mindset. You start having feelings, and then you're mad at, why do I even feel this way? I'm just mad at myself. So, again, I live at Chris Carter. You'll probably hear this line a lot, but I got to give credit where credit's due. Chris Carter this last year when we were over in London, when I got inducted into the Ring of Honor for the international game, he told me, he was like, Jared, once you get in, he's like, and you will get in. He said, once you get in, the process goes away, right? All the first, because he waited 6 years being eligible as a finalist to get in. But he gave me that advice, and he's right, because you get a total picture, right? You get a much more total picture of the process, which again doesn't make any of our feelings invalid. The feelings of frustration are absolutely valid at the time. But then you get welcomed and you see everybody with the gold jacket, and no one talks about how many years you waited, or nobody talks about how many years you're eligible, and you see guys that have waited way longer, way shorter, but everybody's there as equals. Seeing Sterling Sharpe this year was phenomenal. He's waited how long? He's been on there forever. Eric Allen, same thing. I think 19 years or something he's been eligible, and was waiting. I don't know how many years as a finalist. I think it was 4 or 5 or 6, something like that. But so guys all have stories, right? And then so you're empathizing, and see, I got to talk with Zach Thomas this week. Leroy Butler, who's sneakily one of the funniest dudes. So these guys that you watch growing, and now you have this mutual. Now we've always had this mutual respect as athletes, right? But now we have this like mutual. I was not the word looking for, but it's not even respect. But it's just like you're on the same playing field, right? Like
a brotherhood,
passing of the
a
torch.
club.
There's this balance. Yeah, it's the same club. It's the forever team. That's what everybody calls it, right? It's the forever team. And guys treat each other like teammates, and the respect is there, and the respect paid for. Like, I'm not sure if they showed it on TV, but if you saw Terrell Owens hugging Sterling Sharpe, right, during the and it was tears were flowing. I mean, obviously Sterling was a massive impact on Terrell Owens, his career and everything, the way he played the game. And to me, that's what the Hall of Fame signified, right? It's like that generations coming together and so many different influences, and being able to share those moments as equals is something so cool, and so it does. The process fades, but it's a tough process because there's not a lot of transparency through the process because the voters are sworn to secrecy. If you get in, you're sworn to secrecy. If you don't get in, you're sworn to secrecy. So there's but I tell you what, it feels good to be able to move forward and kind of. I laugh and joke. I said my whole career, I played this game always never thinking I arrived, right? I always had a chip on my shoulder, always trying to outdo myself in the year before. And I said, well, I guess I got no more personal accomplishments I can achieve in the game of football, so I guess maybe I can start arriving. Who knows?
Talking with newly minted Hall of Famer Jared Allen, and tell us about, you talked about all of the process kind of falling away, but that moment, like I don't know how it hit you, but to be told that your life's work is validated by you being inducted into one of the most exclusive clubs in all of sports and the most exclusive club in your sport. What were those emotions like?
I don't think they fully hit me yet.
Okay.
I think I'm still kind of joining. I'm pretty sure when I'm in Canton, like in the hall and seeing the bus, I've never been up there, See, so the moments that get me are the moments I get to spend with the other Hall of Famers, right? And listening to them, like I told you, the Sterling Sharpe Shannon, or the Terrell Owens Sterling Sharpe moment really hit me on stage, right? And those are the moments I think get me, like, I was talking with Champ Bailey, again this weekend. Those are moments that are cool to me, and being able to go back and, as my Hawaiian buddies would say, talk story with all the different generations. You know what I mean? That's what's cool, and to hear their perception of how I played, right? And me get to tell them, the influence they had on my game, and share that respect and share it on an equal platform, right? So, before I was in the hall, when I was just playing, these guys were up here, you're chasing them, right? I'm trying to chase their numbers. I'm trying to chase their careers down. I'm trying to chase their respect. I'm trying to earn it, right? And so now when you get to sit there and just, chop it up with them and, kind of just let your hair down. And Matt, by the way, the hair is absolutely outstanding. Absolutely. Yeah. That's those moments that get me. But I think from an emotional standpoint, it hasn't fully hit me. And like I said, part of that's because of the process. When you're in the finals so many years, there becomes an expectation. You're like, eventually they're going to let me in, right?
Yeah. Well, so, I remember you leaving some national championships early.
I'm sure when I have to speak and all that stuff, I'll probably tear up at some point.
Yeah, I remember you leaving some national championships early because you're like, I got to get to the Super Bowl. I might be inducted this time, so I got to get down there. I'm like, what? This is curling, man.
In Denver, I thought. In Denver, we had the team prepared. I was like, man, we had an alternate with us. I was like, I might have to leave on Wednesday to get down, and then I didn't. And so everybody's like, "Are you in?" I'm like, "Well, clearly I'm still curling." So.
Was it Denver where you finally got me back, and I haven't had a chance to take the crown back from you?
Yeah,
that still burns me up. Nah, not gonna lie.
Yeah, although you guys smashed us pretty good, and in Jersey.
Oh, that's right.
So wait, Jared. So obviously you have this immense football career, and you're doing this curling thing. I mean, obviously going to the Hall of Fame felt better, but to knock off an Olympic gold medalist in curling is a pretty
I'm not
amazing
gonna lie,
experience.
That's up there. That's up there.
I've never seen that team play so good.
Too much. I try not to talk about it too much because we're all friends and I want to stay friends. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It was a special moment for us.
He came back a little bit burned.
Yeah.
He was doing a show with me. He came back because I lost. I can't believe I lost. Yeah.
That's also
Well,
the beauty of curling.
payback. People who don't know, like my very first curling match ever, right, in an actual real USA curling event. I mean, not USA, like curling tour event, was at Evelyn. And our first game was against Schuster and the gold medalist, right? Fresh off the bat. So I only got one speed. I'm like, well, here's the I got to try to play head games because talent wise we're not there. So I just started talking trash to Matt. I started talking trash to Schuster. I'm I'm making up quotes that they're saying against each other. Hopefully I can create some team turmoil. I got Matt. I'm like, dude, I'll bet you. What do you want to bet? Let's bet. But I made them spot me like 5 points. So they're like running off. They're running us off the sheet, and only one of my other teammates knew about the bet. So, you're supposed to quit gracefully. I don't know how that works in curling. I still boggles me how you just bow out.
Right.
And so one of our teammates and my coach at the time, John Benton, he didn't know about the bet. He's like ready to shake. I'm like, we're not shaking. We're playing this thing for 8 ends. And he's like, we're down by like 6. I'm like, yeah, but I still got 5. I got 5 points.
You got to cover.
So I'm within striking distance. And Schuster and all of them knew about it, and they were all cool with it. But everybody at the club was wondering why we were. I don't know what the final score had been, like 10-4 or 12-4 or something like that. But they're like, why are these guys not quitting? And I was like, no mercy.
Yeah. See, I mean, that's where I feel like maybe football could take a little page out of curling's playbook. Like the Chiefs would have shaken in the third quarter.
Hey, I was literally thinking that. I was thinking that last night when the game was so far out of hand in the third quarter. I was like, man, if this was curling, we could shake this up right now.
Yeah.
We could all go home.
Let's just go up to the concourse and have a beer, gang.
Chiefs win.
How fun
Guys,
would
all right, guys. This is clearly we're just scoring. We're scoring scrap points to try to make this look good for the bettors. Let's shake this up. Let's get out of here.
how fun must Philadelphia have been having last night? I mean, they were just wreaking havoc.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, from a game standpoint, those are games you dream about. I mean, they were clicking on all cylinders. I mean, that's from a coaching standpoint, they'll go back out and they'll look at that tape and say, man, this is a complete game. And I know the game ended up being 40-22 or something, but I mean, take those 22 points were insignificant. They really were. And I mean, that team was balling, and they were they were having fun. That's how a game's supposed to be played. I mean, so from a team standpoint, that's what every team is trying to accomplish on every week. And it's hard because it's the NFL, and for them to do that in the Super Bowl, man, hats off to them. And you had to know. I mean, Vic Fangio, he is one heck of a D coordinator.
Yeah.
So you had to know he was going to have something dialed up for them, and he sure did.
Jared, tell us something about New Orleans. I've never been, but I imagine it was nuts.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. I'm not a huge fan. I always joke that finally something good happened to me in New Orleans. And you got my Super Bowl taken from me in 2009 there, But no, it was nuts. It's crazy. I mean, that's what I mean. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, the whole place smells like weed all the time. So I'm like, all right, whatever y'all do you. That's fine. And then there's people just. I mean, I was getting my car this morning to come home, and there's dudes brown bagging it, just walking down the street, just drinking beers at 7:30 in the morning. I'm just like, what is going on? Like that's a recipe for disaster. It's chaos. It was pure chaos. Trying to maneuver throughout the city was nuts. You would have thought that the NFL sprung the game on them last minute. It was like, oh, hey, 2 weeks from now we're gonna have the Super Bowl. I'm like, dude, it was no joke. Ubers were canceling on people. It was like an hour and a half to go a block, but then you couldn't even walk the block because there was so many people. But the Super Bowls are always crazy because you see athletes and A-list celebrities just strolling down the street because everybody has to walk. Everybody has to go places. We were pulling into the Super Bowl. We're trying to find the right passes and right things, and you get our van in there and everything like that. And I looked out the window. It was just Adrian Peterson just walking in the crowd. And I was just like, only the Super Bowl. Oh, yeah. Like, Adrian, you want to ride? Bradley Cooper was serving cheesesteaks.
Wow.
One day.
Yeah.
So it was chaos in a cool way. I'm sure the fans love it, but for me, I'm like, ooh, I mean, big crowds and the debauchery of I'm like, I don't know how people can handle it. I don't even think even when I was in my 20s, I could have pulled off what these guys were doing all day, all night. It was nuts. Cops everywhere, obviously, for what happened on New Year's Eve, which is sad. But I tell you what, New Orleans is a city built for entertaining and built for partying because apparently anything goes there. Anything goes.
Talking with newly minted Hall of Famer Jared Allen, who spent time with Minnesota and Chicago in the NFC North, obviously with Kansas City Chiefs as well.
To forget about those Chicago days. It wasn't very well over there.
Well, you did miss, so I'm a Bears fan, but you did, honestly, on that note, though, I remember one of the weirder things that it had to be not fun at all to deal with is you missed a good chunk of time with pneumonia.
Yeah, well, I actually missed a week with pneumonia.
Yeah.
I should have missed a good chunk of time. I really should have. You look back on things on probably.
You lost like 18 pounds, I think I saw somewhere.
Rest you could take. Yeah, I lost 17 pounds in
Wow.
a week. And I came back the following week and played Carolina. It was like 255. I went down to like 233 or some crap like that. It was crazy. Hindsight, I probably should have taken some time and got my muscle structure back. You just lose a lot of muscle in that because I didn't have a lot of fat. I lost a lot of muscle in that thing. But yeah, I blew my L5 out in Chicago. Got pneumonia in Chicago. Probably should have just capped that season there and recovered. And I tried to work through it, but I'm not built that way. So I figured if I could walk, I can play ball, right?
Yeah.
So did that, and then I went to asked them to trade me to Carolina after week 3.
Yeah.
Just 'cause I wanted to finish my career with my hand in the dirt, and got to go on a beautiful run there in the Super Bowl. It sucked. I was so excited. We were coming in there. We were going to play a rookie. I had a rookie tackle and a rookie quarterback. We were going out to play Tampa.
Yeah.
I had a great week of practice, and in walkthrough, a dude ran into my hip and literally ruptured my L5 again. So my first game in Carolina, I'm in the training trainer's hotel room till like midnight trying to figure out how I can get this nerve pain out of my leg. Somehow get it through the first half, and then my leg shut down. I couldn't lift my heel off the ground, and so I was like, "Hey, coach, we were like 35-0." I was like, "I got nothing. My back is donezo." Somehow, miraculously, I missed the Seattle game, and then we had a bye week. And after 4 cortisone shots later, directly into my L5, my leg started working. Again, probably should have shut it down. And built some muscle back and come back and live to fight another day. But man, that was such a fun season. That team was a fun team, and it was a great run. I got to play in Super Bowl 50. Unfortunately, we lost. But my last 2 years, I always tease Chris Carter about that too, because he told me, he said, when you think you're done, Jared, play 2 more, right? And it was the first time in my life I ever took the money. I had no intention ever to play for another team but the Vikings. And then actually I was going to sign with Denver and then Seattle. But then where the whole thing, Denver thing worked out, where it got released, and I was like, man, he's going to Denver for sure. And I was trying to get up and visit, but we were in that tampering period. There was a weird period, and he signed. And then I was going to go to Seattle, and then Chicago came in and offered me a contract I couldn't say no to, and then all of a sudden they fired everybody, so that was tight too. Well, I actually felt bad because I really like John Fox. John Fox and Ryan Pace are 2 amazing people, and John Fox obviously an amazing coach. And Vic Sesser, I got to spend some time with Vic Fangio, so I know why the Eagles were able to play the way they did, because Coach Fangio has a way of when he installs defenses, when he puts stuff in, he has a way of showing people as humans, right? Like he used to do it about Aaron Rodgers all the time. He would show his defenses being highly successful against Aaron. He would show him, throwing picks, throwing this, and then how the DBs were disrupting him, how the system was working in their favor. And so you take that allure, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they're finding ways to win. The media's built them up. And he has a way of deflating that bubble and bringing his players in to know they can be successful in that system, right? And, hey, we're going to put you in the best position to use your athletic ability to do what you got to do. And so, you saw that in the guys. Those guys were playing with immense confidence. Those DBs were like, okay, Mahomes might be Mahomes, so let's take away the receivers, right? We know Mahomes is a great player. Let's go shut his receivers down. Let's throw doubles at him. Let's jam them. And guess what? Now you got the D-line eating up front, and, fortunately, the Chiefs' offensive line was banged up. I would have liked to see them run the ball a little more, but so hats off to them. But yeah, man. But that's why I was looking at that game, and I was like, the curling metaphor came. I'm like, Fangio's on, just shake it up. It's over.
And I was just going to ask how much you liked stacking the Packers quarterbacks. That's why you gave a much better answer, because I was just going to ask who was your favorite player to get after.
A lot. They're part of the reason why I'm in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So, you know.
All right, that's it for Jared.
I wanted to give him a chance to troll you a little bit.
People come up and like, oh, I'm a big fan, even though I'm a Packers fan. I'm like, I'm a Packers fan too. You know, I made a lot of money off of that.
So was it Rodgers, sacking Rodgers, your favorite quarterback to take down, or was anyone else?
Yeah, you know, I actually got to sack Brett Favre too when I was with the Chiefs, so that was pretty special. You know what, Aaron? That's the good part about great quarterbacks. Aaron's a great quarterback, and you look at even Stafford, and you look at the guys. I've played against a lot of great quarterbacks. Great quarterbacks are great quarterbacks because like Peyton gets the rid of the ball crazy fast. He knows exactly where the ball is going to go all the time, right? Brady, same way. Drew Brees, another really fast out of the hands. But guys like Aaron, guys like Brett, not only they get the ball, absolutely have to get the ball in hand, but they're not afraid to take the big shot. They know they can make any throw in the book, right? So as a competitor, I love playing against guys because you're going to have opportunities. You're going to have chances to have an extra half second, extra something, extra half step, because they're going to take that shot down the field. Some quarterbacks aren't just going to sit there and dink and dunk you to death. And those are the ones, and that's why they're great, right? They know how to make those plays more times than not. But as a pass rusher, I know I'm going to have, a handful of times in the game where, I'm going to get some one-on-ones. If I'm playing with a good tackle, I'm going to get those opportunities where they're going to pump fake, they're going to go downfield, and you got to take advantage of that.
All right, Jared, last question for me is, do you think Jordan Love's got it? Packer Nation's a little divided right now. Obviously, we paid him big bucks.
I do, but I think they got to be careful, right? He had such success, not this previous year. I mean, they were good this year, right? They faded towards the end. But the year before, he had a lot of success. And what you'll see, and unfortunately, I think the Vikings did it at the end of the year too, right? Sam Darnold's having all the success, and all of a sudden, a little bit more gets put on their shoulders, a little bit more. You saw him in the last couple of games. We were a little more pass heavy than we had been all year. And I think that's what happens, right? A guy elevates and he's showing star power, and you want to give him more of that, right? You want to feed that, but you got to remember what got him there. It's that balanced offense. You got Josh Jacobs, and you got to run that dude, right? I think Jordan Love is very capable. I think he'll continue to get time and continue to get the ball out of his hands, but you got to build around them. You got to have playmakers around him. I mean, look at Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a phenomenal quarterback, but look at the talent around him. And I think Tom Brady knew that the best. Tom Brady was constantly, everybody knows Tom Brady made a ton of money, but he was obviously restructuring his contract to make sure he had the right talent around him. It doesn't necessarily have to be Pro Bowl talent. You just have to have the right guys. You got to have the right role players. You got to have a solid offensive line. You got to have guys that are going to make your system better and allow your quarterback to be better in that system, or whoever that star player is, right? And so I think with Jordan, you got to get some O-line help for him, right? Especially towards the end of the year, they got beat up. Defensively, I think you guys got some great young players. Especially you got like a linebacker. I think he was a rookie linebacker this year that really was shining at the end of the year.
Edrin Cooper.
And yeah, but you with Jacobs and something, you got a run game, and so you got to get. I think what they're missing there is a tight end. To be honest, and if they have one, I don't know his name, and that's probably a problem.
Tucker Kraft, bro.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, there you go. And I don't mean that with disrespect, but you got to get a guy you're going to feed the ball to, 7-8 times a game. A tight, now you got play action out of it. So I think they have the pieces. I think they have the coaching staff. I mean, the North was vicious this year. Honestly, I think that team in any other division probably is in the playoffs, or is deeper in the playoffs. Sorry, I know they went to the playoffs, but so I think Jordan Love, he can do it. He just got to put pieces around him. And you saw that. Look what happened at the tail end of Aaron's career. In Green Bay, the pieces start falling apart, and now it's all on him. Well, guess what? If I don't have to focus on a driver, a Jennings, a Nielsen, a Grant out of the backfield, well, guess what? Now we're going to pin our in-bags. We're going to put all of our emphasis on the quarterback, and that's what can happen.
Jared, congratulations, and thank you so much for taking the time on a Monday after the Super Bowl after you get announced. So I guess it speaks to how cool Matt is, I guess, and you are too, Jared. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you know what? When buddies call, you got to pick up the phone. So Matt texted me, and I felt bad because I got like 300 text messages. My phone crashed Friday morning, right? It crashed Thursday night. Somehow I got it to charge. It just quit charging on me. So I found a magnetic charger in my car, in the car on the way home, and it popped back to life. So hopefully I got to get a new phone, but I got about 300 text messages. But Matt caught me at the right time because he caught on the way down. I was like, yeah, I'll hit you up Monday. And then he called, and I was like, well, I thought we were doing this afternoon. So I was like in the car. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll be home by then. Okay.
Gotcha.
No, Matt's always been great. You guys have been great. The show's always fun. So anytime I can come on and help.
Thank you, Jared.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks.
All right, congratulations.
Not too many people are calling. This space doesn't do well on TV. So.
Tell me about it. Mine either.
Yeah, 2 great curlers and an NFL Hall of Famer.
Oh no, I can't say great curler. No, Matt's definitely the great curler. I just try not to be the worst. That's how I get by in curling. I will never be the worst on the ice.
There you go.
And you're doing a hell of a job of it at this point. But we got to play again sometime.
No, absolutely. Let's get it going.
All right. Thank you, Jared Allen, Hall of Famer Jared Allen. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.